I want to thank you for the ability to be speak in front of this very important committee. I want to thank you, Senator Stabenow, and you, Senator Bozeman, for your leadership on this committee. I've worked with you both. You're both good people. We may have a difference of opinion on some of this stuff, but the bottom line is we're at a moment in time. There are two bills in front of you today, and I would remiss if I didn't thank Senators Fisher and Senators Grassley and Senators Wyden for their hard work on this bill. And it has been hard work, but it's been great work, and it's been fun working with you guys. So thank you very, very much. We have two bills in front of us today. The Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act, which I'm going to call the Spot Pricing Act, and the other one is the Meatpacking Special Investigator Act. These very important bills are in front of a very important committee. This indeed is a moment in time. And the reason it's a moment in time, because egg production has gotten far more consolidated the 44 years since I took over the farm in 1978. And it's not one party's responsibility. The fact is, if both parties have watched this has happened, and we've done nothing. Today, we have an opportunity to do something. Why? Because we've seen a mass exodus off the land. Rural America is drying up. On the other side of the equation, we see consumers that are being treated unfairly in the marketplace because there's no competition. Today, we can address both of those issues with these bills. A citizenry that is well-fed is essential if we're going to have a democracy to survive. With consolidation, we see the potential for food to become a serious problem in this country. We need to make sure that our citizenry has access to food they can afford. The continual concentration of the marketplace into the hands of a few would eventually destabilize this country. It will destabilize this country unless we take advantage of this moment in time. In my small town, as an example, when I graduated from high school, there was 1,000 people in that town. Now there's about 600. There were 3 elevators, grain elevators. Now there are none. There were 2 hardware stores. Now there are none. There were 3 grocery stores. Now there's 1. And maybe the most distressing is there were 5 bars, and now there's only 2. Okay? So look, in order for communities to exist in rural America, we need to have a fair marketplace. And if this marketplace is consolidated, capitalism that works well in a free market doesn't work well in a consolidated market where there's concentration. And quite frankly, the end result of this is we've got ranchers that are going broke. Ranchers that are generational, that have been on the land 3, 4, 5 generations, are going broke. Not because they're bad operators, not because they made bad decisions. The model doesn't work for them anymore. And we need to do something about that, or we'll continue to see what's happened over the last 100 years. On the consumer side of things, what COVID did teach us is when you have big processors and it's hit with something like COVID, they have to shut down. Where you have thousands of people are working instead of 100 or less, these close down. What does that do? It reduces the prices for the farmer and drives up the prices for the consumer at the retail level. And the fact of the matter is these packers are doing pretty darn well. Tyson Foods in the last quarter of 2021, their net income rose from $469 million to $1.2 billion. That's one quarter, okay? Net income up from 2020 to 2021, up 47%. And by the way, I'm all about folks making money. I think it's a good thing. I think profit margins are great, and we ought to have them. But people, there needs to be some transparency. There needs to be some accountability, because what we're having in this country is consumers and people in production agriculture treated unfairly. This is a moment in time, folks. We have an opportunity to do something. And I don't know what will be said at this table today, but here are the facts. We have a problem. Today's marketplace is more consolidated today than it was in 1921 when this body passed the Packers and Stockyards Act. Rural America is drying up because we can't get fair prices at the farm gate. Capitalism isn't working in this particular instance because of concentration and consolidation in the industry. Consumers are paying higher prices because without competition, they're set without regard to what people can afford. We need some sunlight. We need some sideboards. There will people that will say these bills do too much. There are people that say these bills do too little. I can guarantee you one thing. If we walk out of here today and we don't pass these bills, we will see the same result that we've seen for the last 100 years. And in the end, our food security is put at risk. You have a tough job ahead of you. You will discuss it. You will debate it. But please do the right thing. For the sake of folks like me who want to pass the farm on to the kids, it's not about inheritance tax. It's about making sure we get a fair price at the farm gate. Thank you very much.